So, I'm commissioning you to draw the opening credits to my new show, Secret Invasion. Great, what do you want me to draw? The destruction of the Skrulls' home planet, Skrulls, among other things. Okay, though I have to warn you, it will cost you a high fee. How much? $100.
No. Hell no. What? $100? Are you kidding me? $100?
Don't you make like hundreds of thousands every year? Yeah, I'm pretty sure you do. While we're on the subject, can I get a pay raise?
No and no. We're going to use AI for the opening credits of Secret Invasion. What do you think we are, a charity? We can't spend $100, and by the way, I make $1 million.
Oh my god, is this gonna happen often? If so, I'm gonna have to put up my house for sale.
Do it. You're all replaceable except me. I'm not. I'm very important.
What do you even do?
What a stupid question. I make sure the studio doesn't spend a cent more than they have to, so that they can get the money to me. By the way, you're getting another pay cut.
Oh my god.
Secret Invasion is the latest in a long line of just very mid MCU shows. So, why does Secret Invasion show the failings of the MCU? Well, Secret Invasion delves to places that the MCU hasn't gone since Thor: The Dark World. Boredom. Secret Invasion tried to distinguish itself from the rest of the MCU by being a generally serious show. While I applaud this, as I think most MCU projects just have way too many jokes in them, it did take away funny parts from the series. So, how did Secret Invasion replace those funny parts? Long talking scenes. In particular, I want to focus on a specific scene. It's the scene where Fury tells Sonya Falsworth about the harvest. Instead of having this long talking scene, no extra audio or video, why not flash back to the blip and start the scene with Fury at Tony's funeral? Then we can cut to Gravik taking the Avengers' blood. This is the definition of show not tell. You wouldn't even have to get any cameos because all the Avengers were at Tony's funeral at that point. Another reason why this show is just so boring is because the concept "who can you trust" just doesn't land. Why didn't Fury have a group of humans that he trusted, and then as the series went on, got suspicious of them and uncovered some of them as Skrulls? In Secret Invasion, at no point are you wondering if someone is a Skrull other than maybe Rhodey. All of Fury's friends either die or are already Skrulls, so it wouldn't make sense for another Skrull to impersonate like Talos' human form. On that note, why do they have human forms? The Skrulls in New Skrullos, like Gravik or Gaia, should be wearing their Skrull skins while they're in New Skrullos, especially since Gaia said that the Skrulls could wear their skins in New Skrullos, which is why they all want to go there. It just comes off as cheap that they aren't wearing their Skrull skins. It's like the actors didn't want to put on the makeup. Also, why didn't the Skrulls speak in their language in New Skrullos? Gravik literally hates the humans yet uses their language almost all the time. But I digress. Secret Invasion doesn't build up the paranoia because all of the existing characters except for like Rhodey never have their identities in question, and they never built up new characters before they were revealed as Skrulls. Instead of creating new characters that had shifty loyalties, they instead opted for the strategy of, we'll create someone important to be a Skrull when we need to and only show them as a Skrull. I think the writing in this show really hurt the suspenseful moments. In particular, I will be looking at two scenes from episode 4 of the series. The first is the opening scene where we learn how Gaia was able to survive being shot. For those of you who didn't watch the show or slept through it like I almost did, let me break the scene down for you. At the end of the third episode, Gaia gets shot, which is a big cliffhanger. Even though we knew that Amelia Clark's character wasn't going to be killed off so early on, the least that the show could have done was not make the cliffhanger meaningless. By showing how Gaia survived the cliffhanger immediately, it kinda makes the cliffhanger meaningless. Wouldn't it have been better to see Gravik set up a meeting with Talos, telling him he killed his daughter? There was a scene in the third episode where Talos gets really mad when Gravik mentions his daughter, so seeing that paid off in a similar scene with Gravik and Talos, where Talos thinks his daughter is dead, would have been really moving. and would have brought much needed emotion to a generally just flat show. Instead, her fake death just has no consequences. She doesn't even use the fact that Gravik thinks she's dead to her own advantage. And if the fake death is gonna be completely meaningless, what is the point of putting it in there? Just to fake out the audience? First of all, they didn't fake out anyone because of their trailers where we see unseen shots of Gaia up to that point. Second of all, it's just very underwhelming for a fake death to not have any consequences. It's like Gravik knew that she wasn't dead, so he doesn't do anything to capitalize off it. The second scene is when Rhodey is telling Fury's wife to kill him. This scene could have been great, and it could have created some well-needed mystery on whether Fury's wife was to be trusted. The thing this scene does wrong is showing Fury listening in while Rhodey is giving Vara the instructions. Why would they do that? Wouldn't it have been more intriguing to see if Fury would know that his wife was betraying him, who would have actually lived up to the promise of who can you trust? Instead, Fury knows that Vara was given orders to kill him, and the resulting confrontation is made less interesting because we know everything that the characters know. It's better to create intrigue in what's supposed to be a political thriller, and instead of creating that, the writers just spelled it all out for us by telling us that Fury knew. Like, it would have been really cool to see if Fury really is still at the top of his game, and that he was still making moves instead of just reacting to whatever the Skrulls did. On that note, this series didn't live up to the promise of it being like a chess match, which was hinted at by the constant references to chess in the show and the opening title. In chess, both sides are making plans and constantly reacting to each other's plans, shifting their own plans in response. However, in the show, Gravik is the only one making any sort of plans and any sort of moves, and Fury is just reacting to them. The only time Fury actually makes a move is when, he sends Gaia in his place in the finale. But for the first 5 episodes, Fury is just reacting to what Gravik does. Compare that to another MCU political thriller, Captain America and the Winter Soldier. In that movie, while Cap is forced on the run by Hydra, he also works out to find what Hydra's plan is and how to stop it. When Hydra throws in the wrinkle of Bucky, he changes his plans again to include saving the day but also saving Bucky. Secret Invasion has none of that. Fury doesn't work out what Gravik wants, he already knows. What Gravik wants is just shoved into our faces, making the show have no mystery qualities at all because there is no nuance in the writing. Everything is just straight up told to us. There isn't any room to theorize or infer. While Secret Invasion tried to do something different, much like WandaVision, it strayed back into the formulaic MCU at the end. Like, what is this final fight? This was also my main gripe with WandaVision. It seems like every MCU project has to end with some good guy fighting an evil version of themselves with the same power. With the same generic formula, general boredom, and bad writing, Secret Invasion embodies why the MCU has been failing post-Endgame. It seems that the general viewers are noticing the failings of the MCU too. Secret Invasion, despite being one of the most well-known Marvel comic runs, debuted to disappointing numbers. This tells me that the general public doesn't view the MCU as a perfect brand that could do no wrong, like it was back when Endgame came out, or even like a year ago maybe when She-Hulk came out, because She-Hulk debuted to better numbers than this. The string of mediocre installments to the franchise has left viewers dissatisfied, to the point where hardcore fans will skip certain projects because they view them as irrelevant. I, for one, didn't finish She-Hulk or Ms. Marvel, and had a hard time struggling through The Falcon and the Winter Soldier and this show, Secret Invasion. If the MCU doesn't start consistently putting out A-tier content, it might go the route of the DCU and die off.